everyone, welcome to this learning session with me, Miss Annie, and today we'll embark on an exciting journey into sociolinguistics. By the end of this session, you will understand, number one, what sociolinguistics is, number two, its key concepts and frameworks, and number three, the real-life importance of studying sociolinguistics. So, let's get started by understanding what sociolinguistics is all about. So, what is sociolinguistics? Sociolinguistics is a subfield of linguistics that examines the relationship between language and society. It investigates how social factors like class, gender, ethnicity, and context influence the way people speak. This field actually originated in the 1960s with foundational work by scholars such as William Leboeuf, that known for his groundbreaking studies on language variations in New York City, and Delheims, who introduced the concept of communicative competence, emphasizing that effective communications involve more than just a grammar. It includes understanding social norms. Sociolinguistics actually challenges the notion that language is static. Instead, it views language as dynamic and constantly evolving with societal changes. For example, have you ever noticed how you speak differently to your friends compared to your teachers or parents? Yeah, that's because language reflects social roles and relationships. There are some key concepts in sociolinguistics. So, let's delve into some key concepts of sociolinguistics. Number one, the language variations and dialect. Language varieties actually depending on the factors like geography, social class, or ethnicity. And it is called as regional dialect. The variations based on the location, or simply we can see the examples such as the British English or the American English. Number two is called as social dialect. This is the variations that link to class or educations. For example, as we live in Indonesia, we have Javanese language that has three different languages called as Kromo Inggil, Kromo, or Ngoko. Number two, another key concept in linguistics is code switching. So code switching refers to the alternating between languages or dialects within a single conversation. For example, some phenomenons that we have in Jaksel language that mix between Bahasa Indonesia and English, like, could you bring me the document later because I'm very busy, soalnya sibuk sih. So people code switch for a lot of reasons, such as they are going to express their identity, they are going to emphasizing a point, or they adapt to social context. Number three, another key concept in sociolinguistics, we have a speech communities. A speech community is a group of people who share norms and conventions for language use. For instance, a teenager in a city may develop a unique slang, or a professional or someone that has hobbies or groups like doctors use their technical jargon that outsiders may not understand their speaking. Number four, another key concept of sociolinguistics is a style and register. A language style that changes depending on the situations, it derived from a formal register or informal register. Formal register is language that used in professional or academic settings, while informal register is language that we use to friends or family in informal situation. Number 5 is language and power. In sociolinguistics, it also examines how language reflects and reinforces power dynamics. For instance, the dominance of English in a global communication raises questions about the linguistic imperialism or the cultural hegemony. So those are some key concepts that we discuss in linguistic study. The next question is that why we have to study linguistics? Now, why sociolinguistics is important, I have summed it into 3 different reasons. Number 1, because sociolinguistics can make us understanding social diversity. Sociolinguistics help us appreciate the diversity of languages and dialects. It challenges the idea that some languages or dialects are better than others. Instead, it emphasizes that each variety serves its community in a unique ways. So by understanding it, also help us to appreciate the richness of linguistic diversity. Like we have in Indonesia, we have more than 700 languages in our diversity. So instead of viewing non-standard dialects to call it as that one is incorrect, we have to understand them as a valid form of expression with their own rules and also histories. The second reason to study sociolinguistics is that it improves our communication. So by understanding how language use varies across cultures and social groups, we can also communicate more effectively and, of course, avoid the misunderstanding. In multicultural environments, understanding how language works in different social contexts can reduce the miscommunication. Number 3, learning sociolinguistics can addressing the linguistic discriminations. Sociolinguistics sheds light on issues like linguistic prejudice. For example, some accents are unfamiliar or associated with intelligence or professionalism. So by studying the sociolinguistics, it helps to promote the inclusivity. By studying it, we can challenge the stereotypes and linguistic discriminations, of course. For example, we also assume that accents are often used to judge someone's intelligence or competence, which is actually both are unfair and inaccurate. So sociolinguistics is not just a theoretical, it has practical benefit in our everyday life. Therefore, now Ms. Ani will let you know how the connection between sociolinguistics in our everyday life. Let's explore how sociolinguistics applies to our daily activity. For example, for those who are in education field, I give you the example like the teacher often adjusts their language to suit the students' needs, using simpler language for young learners or more technical terms for the advanced students. Number 2 is the situations what we have in workplaces, for example. A professional may switch between formal and informal register, it depending on whether they're speaking to the clients, their colleagues, their boss, or their friends. Another situation is when we have it in social media. How we communicate on social media, whether we use emojis, abbreviation, or hashtag, it shows how language actually evolved with the technology. So by understanding these dynamics, it makes us more aware of how we use the language and how we interpret it. Okay? Now, after we understand the social functions of language, let's dive deeper into the practical functions of studying sociolinguistics and how it can be applied in various fields of society. Number one, improving communications across social groups. Sociolinguistics helps us improve communication across different social groups. By studying language variation, for example, we can learn how people from different backgrounds communicate and how those differences can sometimes lead to misunderstanding. Whether in workplace, schools, or public places, understanding sociolinguistics foster better communications and cooperations across diverse groups. Number two, enhancing educations and language teaching. In the field of education, sociolinguistics plays a major role in understanding how children acquire language, especially in multilingual societies. It can help teachers address language barriers, adapt their teaching methods, and create more inclusive learning environments. It also informs the teaching of second language, highlighting the importance of cultural context in language learning. Next, number three is supporting language policy and planning. Sociolinguistics is essential in creations of language policies. You know that governments and organizations use sociolinguistic research to determine which languages should be taught in schools, used in official settings, or preserved for future generations. So it also helps with managing issues like language rights, language diversity, and the status of minority languages. And number four, it's navigating multiculturalism and globalization. In today's globalized world, sociolinguistics helps us navigate multicultural societies. By understanding how language is used in different cultural contexts, it helps people interact effectively across borders, whether in international business, diplomacy, or simply in daily life. It helps us adapt our language to be more respectful and effective when communicating with people from different cultural backgrounds. And number five, it's understanding the language chains and preservations. Finally, sociolinguistics allow us to study language chains over time. Language is constantly evolving, and sociolinguistics track how new words, phrases, or dialects emerge and why they gain popularity, for example. And moreover, sociolinguistics help preserve endangered language by documenting them and understanding the social factors that threaten their survival. Let's look at some real-world applications of sociolinguistics. From social media to public health campaign, sociolinguistics is essential in many areas of modern life. In social media and language use, for example, on social media, people from around the world communicate in diverse ways, often creating new slang, even entire digital dialects. And sociolinguistic study to analyze the chains to understand how online communities form or how language evolves in virtual spaces. And next, in health communication. In public health campaigns, for example, understanding sociolinguistics also understand how language affects the behavior is critical. Sociolinguistics help design health messages that resonate with different social groups by considering their language use, the cultural context, or social norms. So we have come to the conclusion. To summarize, today we have learned about the sociolinguistics that examine the relationship between language and the society, and the key concept that includes language variations, code switching, and speech communities. We also learn about studying sociolinguistics that enhance communications, celebrates diversity, and promotes inclusivity. And the last one, its principles of highly relevant in education, workplaces, and technology in our everyday life. So actually, language is more than just a word. It's a bridge that connects people, cultures, and also ideas. So language is not just a tool for communications. It is a window into our cultures, identities, and relationships. Thank you for joining today's session. If you enjoy this session, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you next time as we continue exploring the world of language and society. Bye-bye.